Why did the Yoruba venerate? What is the history behind veneration? And is veneration part of Yoruba Ìṣẹ̀ṣe, the Yoruba tradition? Is veneration part of it? These three questions and other questions are what we'll be looking into in this video. In my previous video, I promise I will explain all these questions. I will answer this question in my next video. And this is it. So let's get into it. You see, before we get into the history of how the veneration started and who started it and how it evolved, I have to let us know that the word veneration in the Yoruba language, the word veneration is bo. Like when they say I'm bo, what we venerate, I'm bo. So I'm bo, it means we venerate, what we venerate. So, but over the years, the word ambo, the word bo has been reduced, has been changed because everyone refers to the word bo worship, which is not. Bo didn't means worship. Yoruba didn't worship the Orisha. We don't worship Orisha. Yoruba only venerate Orisha. So I have to explain that. So, and for us to understand this real meaning and what caused veneration, why do Yoruba venerate, we have to go into history. So, according to history and the Yoruba tradition, in the beginning, there are 400 primordial beings alongside Orunmila to this earth and created this earth, created human being. Each of these primordial beings, each of them have their separate value, they have separate power. Like as Orunmila have the power for knowledge, Obatala has the power to create. Obatala was the one who created the structure of human, and this is how every 400, every one of them have this, they have different power. Each of these 400 people, they have been have their different powers. What Orunmila has is different from what Obatala has. What Obatala has is different from what Omofe Onile has. So every one of them has different powers, and this is how the structure they have. They created human being. Many of them give birth, so many of them have grandchild. They still have descendants till today. After each of them, every one of them completed their mission. Every one of them has a mission that they have to complete, they have to accomplish. So after each one and one of them completed their taxes, they ascended back to heaven. As we all know, as we have, according to history, each of them ascended back to heaven. So the fact that they ascended back to heaven doesn't mean that their tax has been completed, but the one that they have to complete it on earth has been accomplished, but their work still continues. As their work continues, they still continue their work doing heaven. They are still doing their work there, but the one they have to do on earth has been accomplished. That is the reason why they ascended back. So many of them have what they are known for, like like Omofe Onile is known for seeking justice, for putting order in, like the first man civilization. So he served justice. So Omofe Onile was the one who served justice. Obatala was the leader of all the 400 primordial beings. He's the leader, he's the king, the supreme king among them. And Orunmila was the one known for knowledge. If any one of them need knowledge, they will go to Orunmila to ask for knowledge. If Orunmila himself needed power, if he needed power, there is someone you go to because he is known for knowledge, not power. So, and that's another topic for another day. So, each of them has their different taxes. So, and what they are known for, each of them have what they are known for. For example, when Aunfe Onide now ascended back to heaven, as we all know, human being will always misbehave. Human being will always misbehave. And Aunfe Onide is known for a person who serve justice. He believe in justice, he believe in order. So for him being alive at the time, everyone is in check. But for him to ascend it back to heaven, there is no one to check, to put checks and balances into the civilization there. So in order to keep his power, to uphold his power, the Yoruba formed something. His children, his descendants, they formed something that we called Bo. So they started venerating. The Bo means veneration. So they started venerating him so that they could keep his power and use his power to continuously put checks and balances into the land, into the civilization there. So this is why veneration started. This is how it started, by venerating the evil money that have ascended back to heaven, so that we can still have access to their power, access to what they left, so that we can use it to to shape our world. As we all know, Orisha Shango is different from Irumole, as I said, but I'm just using this as an example. As we all know, Orisha Shango, he is also someone like Orafe Oni, he's always seek justice. He always put checks and balances. So for descendants, his children, his followers, to still have access to this power, so that they could still use it to put checks and balances into the world. That's the reason why they venerate him, so that we could still have the power to his power, the access to his power. That is the reason why today, if someone stole something and you ask the person, "Do you steal this thing?" He said no. If they ask the person to go out to come and swear in the presence of Shogun, if the person did it, if the person stole what they have been stolen, the person will die. Shogun will strike the person down. And look at the years that Shogun has ascended back to the Osha world. Shogun has ascended back to the Osha world. Not it has been long. So, but they still access to his power. This is the reason why Yoruba venerate, so that we could still have the power. All at the same thing, at the same time, Oshun, look at Oshun. Oshun is not given the power to put checks and balances like or Only, no, but she has power. She she has power to give children to who don't have children. She has power to give wealth to who don't have. She has power to give many other things that other women can't give to people. If you need money, you can go to Oshun. If you need children, you can go to Oshun. Oshun will give you children. So for for our descendants, rather, for our descendants to keep the power, to still have access to the power, to still have access to what their leader did, so that they could still use it to form their own world, to use it to as an advantage to form their own world. They need to venerate her. And another reason for veneration is because we don't want our history to be forgotten. For example, now, if the great Fela Kuti, if he is not remembered, if there are no one practice his job, what his music genre, if no one practices after his death, in 1 or 2 generations, he will have been forgotten. No one will have remembered that someone called the great Fela Kuti now. But because people still practice what he did, he created the genre that people still practice, people still see as a job that they try to acknowledge. So that is the reason why he is not forgotten. So this is also the reason why we also venerate, the Yoruba also venerate, because we don't want our history to be forgotten. We want all these indigenous people, indigenous women, indigenous Orisha, we want them to be remembered. Their kids will be the ones who started the veneration. Their kids and their followers will be the ones who started the veneration. So they don't want their leaders' history, their father's history to be forgotten. That is another reason why Yoruba venerate. That is the two major reasons why the Yoruba venerate. The first major reason is for us for the Yorubas, for everyone to still have access to the power they had, so that they can use it to form the world. They can use it to put checks and balances, to give what we don't have. So, and the second reason is to keep history, so that history will be kept, so that history will not be forgotten. That is the two major reasons why Yoruba venerate. I also want you to know that some people still think Bigbo Bigbo means worship. It is not worship. There are some words, maybe many words in the Yoruba language that have been translated to English in wrongly. They have been translated wrongly. Many words like that. I will still be bringing some words so that we can know what they mean and we can change it back to what it is, not what it has been explained to us that it is. If, if we don't do research, we won't know that the word people doesn't mean worship. That is the reason why some religion, I won't name any religion, some religion think that we worship Orisha. But if you don't do research, you will know that the Yorubas don't worship anything. We only venerate, and it has a deep reason why we venerate. All religion also have their own leader, someone who started the religion. If the person is not remembered, if what the person left behind is not practice, if it is not practice, in 1 or 2 generations, all their life work will vanish. All their life work will vanish because no one will remember that this person even invented this thing. But because they are still seeing this thing as something which is something that is very profound, something good that we still need access to it. That is the reason why they also turn it to religion. But we know the Yorubas, as I said, Yorubas don't have religion. We only have Isheshe tradition. So don't let anyone tell you the Yoruba has tradition. And I want you to know that there are many history in Yoruba tradition, Yoruba culture that have been misunderstood, that has been mistold. Not that it is misunderstood, it has been mistold. How they explain the history is different from how the event happened in reality. I've made a video on how the British turned the Yorubas against themselves. I've made a video on that, and even I'm not the one. I'm just started. Some people, the great Fela Kuti also used his lifetime to explain all these things to us, but we didn't understand. We can't understand. If you listen to his songs, you will know how everything works, how they shape they form the society to their own, what they want. So we have to do history about ourselves. We have to know more about ourselves so that we won't be lied to. We can all see now that Yoruba culture and tradition have evolved over the years. There's Yoruba in all countries. Yoruba is in all countries. So we have to wear our culture with pride. So we shouldn't be ashamed for speaking Yoruba. We shouldn't be why some other countries are not ashamed to speak Yoruba. Why should we be as afraid? Why should we be ashamed of speaking Yoruba? Why should we be ashamed of speaking Yoruba? Even some people, other people that are not Yoruba, they wish that they are Yoruba. So we that we are now Yoruba, are we ashamed to teach our children, to teach ourselves the Yoruba language? So let us do research about ourselves so that we can understand what the Yoruba civilization looks like.